If I'm always doing everything for them, then they are not going to take the pride and ownership in it, and that's the whole reason that I do this. Hello and welcome. My name is Kaylee Jo, but you can call me CJ, and I am a middle school theater teacher. And tonight is closing night of our spring musical, The Wizard of Oz Young Performers Edition. And I kind of wanted to take you along for the process of setting up for the show before all of my students arrive, and also show you my performance space, because I actually perform in the corner of our cafeteria, and I think that we've really made the most of that situation, and I know that's a situation that's really similar for a lot of teachers out there. So I hope that you enjoy this tour of my space and kind of this prep before the show starts. And I'm also going to show off some of our props and costumes that I'm really, really proud of. So let's get started. And over in the corner there is our stage. Here behind me is where we set up all of our sound and lighting equipment. So we're at the back of the cafeteria area. Here's another perspective of our stage. So my students all perform up here, and I use this lower step as well. And then everything down here is audience members, and I'm actually able to fit, last night we had 400 people here. So I'm actually able to fit a lot of people in here, which is really nice. And the tiered system to have these levels, I mean, it's not as great as having a raked theater, obviously, but it works really well for us. So our stage is actually half carpet, half tile, which is, you know, that's fun. In this particular show, I have a girl who's doing point ballet, and I will say it's been a little complicated because she obviously has to stay on the tile to be able to do that. So just one of the challenges we have with this setup. Here are my light up cubes made from furnace filters, which was a really fun project that makes a really nice background for this show. It works for all the scenes, and we change the colors based off of what the scene is. And I will link the other video where I talked about how we built those up above if you're interested in doing something similar. I also have my projection screen at the back. I have a projector behind it, and I have a student who sits back there during the show and runs our projections. And then over here are curtains. So we don't have traditional wings necessarily, because anytime a student enters or exits the stage, they have to like pull the curtain over to enter and exit. But our curtains are stored in these little closets, which is actually, I mean, it's a really nice setup for what we're working with here. And I'm gonna show you the backstage area. You can see there's Lion's Rock. There's my Gulch bicycle. Here is rosin for my Glinda's bubble, and that's her bubble. That's my point dancer. So that's a super fun change that we made to The Wizard of Oz, is we made Glinda's bubble a character to showcase my awesome ballet point dancer. There's a munchkin bush made out of insulation foam, my scarecrow post, Dorothy's house with the magic feet in them. So if you saw we just made this out of cardboard. But if you see the feet on the front, and then we have this rope on the back. Whenever you pull it, the feet pull in. So I have a munchkin who does that for whenever the witch says, oh, they're gone, whenever they're supposed to magically disappear. Here's our Oz gates. The other side is a stone wall. So those are super versatile, and I love that they've got two sides because that gives us quite a bit to do with them. Okay, so this is our backstage area, which, you know, generally is a, you know, obviously this is a hallway in our school, but for our show, it's our backstage area. I always keep mini bottles of water backstage for the cast and crew. Do not do full-size water bottles because they will take one drink and leave them, and it's such a waste, so I just do mini bottles. We covered up our windows with brown paper to kind of help, because we are performing in April, and so the sun sets after our show starts, so this helps with light backstage. Here are some of our props. Yes, my prop table could be more organized, and I recognize that, but keep in mind I teach 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, so we're not doing too bad. So there's kind of our prop area. Here is my wizard's balloon. I'm so happy with how this turned out. It's super fun. Up close, you can see that she's pretty beat up. This is actually just a tablecloth, like a vinyl tablecloth, taped to a box that I already had that I put on wheels. And then I added balloons just to kind of help people understand that this is supposed to be a hot air balloon, because obviously I don't have any way to fly things. My second Oz gate, which is on this side of the stage. But fun fact, this is straw for my scarecrow, and it is Easter grass. So Easter grass straw for my scarecrow, but it smells like marshmallows because for some reason that's the only kind that I could find. So my scarecrow smells like marshmallows the whole show, which is better than body odor, so I'll take it. But that is my backstage area. Plenty of room, so I'm very lucky to have so much space back here. So a few things that I'm going to kind of walk you through that I do before the kids get here. First of all, it is currently 3:40 and the kids will get here at 5. So I always try to get here at least an hour beforehand to make sure of a few different things. One, that the AC or heat are on and working, because so often those things aren't actually within my control. Like I can't go to a panel and turn that on. That's something I have to request ahead of time from maintenance. And if your building is the same way, you want to make sure that your audience members and actors are going to be comfortable. I also go through and I check to make sure all of my sound and lighting equipment is functioning, because we want to find that out and have the opportunity to troubleshoot it before everybody starts arriving. And I check on that as well. I will also set up my concession stand somewhat, at least get things in the correct area, and then I have volunteers who will actually run it during the show. I will also check the ticket table and make sure that everything I need is there. I go ahead and print off all of my online ticket orders for the night so that that's available to my parent volunteers who run that as well. Which, by the way, if you do not have parent volunteers doing these things like ticket table, concession stand, I also had mine set up a photo booth for this show. Go ahead and allow them to do those things. So they're contributing to their child's show, but they're not necessarily hands-on, like backstage helping. And that's what I want to alleviate, because at the end of the day, my productions are 100% student run. So it's really important to me that, their parents still feel like they can support them, but at the end of the day, this is the kids' show and they can take ownership over it. All right, so I want to show off my lighting because I've got a pretty nice lighting system for a cafeteria and probably for a middle school in general. So up front here, these are right above the house. I have a dysfunctional disco ball, which really bums the kids out. You would be shocked how often they want to use a disco ball in our shows. And I have 8 mini ellipsoidals. These are traditional lighting instruments with lamps in them, and they have a color changing gobo on the front, so they can actually be 8 different colors. But up here, I have LED pars, and this is where I'm going to get a lot of my fill light from. So I have 4 LED pars there, and because they're LEDs, they can be any color, which is so nice. Kind of back here above where I have my platform, I have 2 strip lights and 4 more LED pars, and I also have an additional 6 LED pars on either side of the stage, on like stage left and stage right. So, I think I end up with a few dozen lights, which is really nice. And then we can follow the yellow brick road back to my spotlight and my soundboard. All right, I am back here at my soundboard. I haven't turned it on yet, but I already see something that needs to be fixed from last night. So we use an iPad to run all of our sound effects, and it is still sitting up here instead of in my classroom charging. So it is a good thing that I came in to double check on that, because at night, whenever everybody's trying to get out of the building, sometimes those things just get skipped over. So back here at the soundboard, I'm gonna plug in the iPad, and then also we keep all of our microphones in this is like a shoe organizer on a portable clothing rack. So I'm gonna go through and make sure that all of my batteries are fully charged, because that is something that takes time. We use rechargeable batteries, by the way, which is a big money saver. So I'm gonna go through and make sure all of the batteries are charged before our show starts. So although I come in early to check in on all of these things and make sure logistically things can function, so I make sure that we didn't have a random power outage and that, like I said, the HVAC is working, all of those things, I come in to check on those. But at the end of the day, this is my student show, and it's really, really important that I hold them accountable for things like their costumes and the hair and makeup area. So I am not going to go through the dressing room and check on their costumes, because that is something that they are supposed to do before they leave every night. And so if a student comes to me 5 minutes before the beginning of the show tonight and says, oh no, my costume has insert problem here, I actually have costume crew members who stay backstage and they problem solve those last minute issues. So like last night, my Tin Man ended up with a hole in the elbow of her costume, and so I had stage crew there to fix that right before the show started. So at the end of the day, you really want to let your students be accountable for those things, because it's their production And if I'm always doing everything for them, then they are not going to take the pride and ownership in it. And that's the whole reason that I do this. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoy theater and theater education related content, please like and subscribe for more. And as always, break a leg.